Okay. So we have 48. We wait for 5 more minutes or 3 more minutes. Syadid ada Syadid?
Ada.
Izam?
Izam.
Izam dan Izam?
Ada doktor ada.
Siapa lagi ni yang tak ada ni? Amrina? Amrina ada? Amrina Alia?
Doktor ada.
Dia tengok aku, dia pasang je, lepas tu dia pergi tidur. Surendra.
Ada doktor, ada.
Tapi suara Surendra macam dalam selimut. You tidur kan sambil
Tak ada.
tarik cerita.
Tak ada doktor.
Yang paling komik sekarang ni, Alice. Siapa lagi ya? Kuang. Siapa lagi? Bukan Kuang, Zuan. Lagi seorang siapa ya?
Kuang kubur.
Aku pula. So siapa yang aktif nanti saya bagi duit raya.
Joki.
Shoki ada juga. Saya nampak Shoki tu. Apa lagi? Biman aktif juga. Yang Lini pun ada. Okay, kita start lah. Ke nak tunggu lagi 2 minit? Saya cakap dulu. Angie. Apa dia? Tak dengar. Angie pun ada. Angie pun selalu datang kelas awal. Kita bagi duit raya lah ke Angie dengan Alice ni . Syuhada ada? Syuhada
Ada doktor.
Bimal pun bagus. Bimal pun bagus. Semua pun bagus. Yang saya tak sebut ni akan kecil hati pula. Semua bagus. Seronok tak kelas online? Ni lagi suka duduk kat rumah ke duduk dekat fakulti? Kat rumah kan, korang kan? Kat rumah kan? Saya pun suka duduk rumah. Sedap sikit kan? You all pun tak rushing. Tak perlu nak siap-siap pergi kelas ke apa ke. Relax je. Duduk rumah, pakai baju tidur, baju kelawar. Pakai pyjamas lagi. Masuk kelas. Saya pun kalau meeting pakai baju kelawar. Sebab ada kelas so kena tunjuk muka kat you all. Tak adalah pakai baju kelawar kan you all gelak kat saya. Jadi wild type. Silap-silap spread COVID pula. Apa ni, tak kat rumah ni langsung tak ada semangat. Kesiannya you all. Kenapa tak ada semangat Wishwan? Tak ada ni, kompetitor. Mak saya risau saya pakai baju Melayu depan komputer. Ni bagus, semangat hari raya. Oh, Wishwan rindu girlfriend. Siapa girlfriend Wishwan? Seronok pula saya duduk girlfriend. Jom start kelas. Okay. Dah perform tak perform, hari Khamis ni urinary punya modul exam. Nasib you all. Soalan susah Semangat tinggal kat kampus, semangat. Soalan susah tau urinary. Nasib lah korang. Sebab soalan online, so kita bagi susah sikit. Sebab you all ada banyak masa kan hari tu. Sebulan study kat rumah kan. Peace lah. Seronok. Okay, dah So we continue with our session this evening on the menstruation. Okay. So kita tutup sini sekejap. Saya endah screen. Okay. So let's continue about menstruation. Siapa yang tak tahu menstruation? Siapa yang tak tahu ni memang naif betul lah. Especially siapa yang masuk medik ni. So those who get into the medical school, they must know about this one. They really need to know, even though they are not going to be the ONG specialists, they really need to recap what's going on during the menstruations, how this process occur, what else? Why the menstruations occur, what are the things that regulates the menstruations. Sebab apa? Kalau you all bukan seorang doktor pun, nanti soon and after you will going to be the the husband for a wife, you're going to be a dad for a daughter. So you need to know the cycles, the process. You need to understand. Lagi satu, this menstruation things is actually really what we call as a taboo lah. Kita memang tak akan cakap pun dengan, sometimes even though we are a girl, when we start to reach a puberty and we start having the menstruations, it is really taboo to tell to everybody. Really taboo to tell the parents, the mother, mummy tak nak beritahu kan, segan, malu and so forth. But actually, this is a normal process. If you said that you are so shy to tell your mom, you have to understand that your mom also having the menstruations. That's why she gets you. Okay, so tak perlu nak tabu-tabu lah. Okay, so kita kena tanya. Alright, so the menstruation, let's take a look at the menstruation phase, menstrual phase. So menstrual phase, instead of call it as the menstrual phase, we also call it as the menses, ataupun the general term, we call it as the period. And usually for the normal or the average 28 days punya cycles, it is usually will take around 5 days. But some of you might experience 3 days, some of you might experience 7 days, and some of you might experience it up to 14 days. Lamanya 14 days. Betul ke berlaku? Yes, it's really happened. It's happened to my friend. Dia memang ada 14 hari. So sepanjang bulan puasa tu, kalau dia nasib lah nak bayar balik puasa tu 14 hari. Okay, so nanti kita akan tengok either the 14 days punya menses tu, is it normal or not normal? Okay, during the menstruation process or the menses, let's take a look at what actually happened at the ovary. Okay, just now I did mention that. Kita lukis sikit. Recap back. Okay, just now we did mention that we have the hypothalamus. Alright. Nanti you ingat I lukis apa pula ni hypothalamus . Okay, at the hypothalamus, during this time, when you reach the puberty, the females or the girls, they already have the primary follicles inside their ovary. So once they reach the puberty, the GnRH level secreted by the hypothalamus is increased. So when it is increased, it will start stimulating the anterior pituitary. This is the anterior pituitary. This is the hypothalamus. So it will produce GnRH. So this will stimulate the gonadotrope, the anterior pituitary or the adenohypophysis to produce the FSH. Again, saya ulang so that nanti senang nak. And the FSH will get into the blood circulations, and during the first day of the menstruation, what it will do is it will go to the primary follicles and it will stimulate the development of the primary follicles. So these primary follicles later will develop. Okay, so once these primary follicles develop, during this time, this lady are actually having the first day of the menstruation. Okay, tengok balik dekat dalam sini tadi, yang saya buat tadi, 19 hari bulan ni, saya cycles. On the 19th, I cycles. So this cycles on 19 is actually the first day of the menstruation. Contohnya, pada 18 hari bulan, I still doesn't have any discharge. I don't have any discharge, but on 19, I have the discharge. So this discharge, this menses considered as the first day of the menstruation. Tak kisahlah kalau dia berlaku pada hari ke-13, and the 13 is the first day of the 28-day cycle. Okay. In the ovary, what happened is that the primary follicles will start receiving the FSH, and once it receives the FSH, what it will do is these granulosa cells will start to develop into the follicle layer. At the beginning, the primary follicles, it's only consists of a single layer of the granulosa cell, satu layer sahaja, and inside it there are a primary oocyte. But once it receives the FSH, so this FSH will trigger the development or the differentiation, the proliferations of these follicles to produce the multiple layer of the granulosa cells. So remember, granulosa cells, it will produce as estrogen, meaning that during our menses, so from our first day to the 5th day of the menses, so these secondary follicles, these primary follicles already develop into a secondary follicles, and during this time, it's already secrete the estrogen. So boleh remark sikit lah. Okay, during this time, we call it as the follicular phase. Okay, bear in mind, this is a follicular phase. Ini kita letak satu barisan kat sini. Ini adalah luteal phase. Okay. What happen if let's say this day is the 2nd of June. So let's say I'm having a period of the 2nd of June. So my ovary is actually responds to the FSH and start producing a multiple layer of the granulosa cells. And at the end of the menses on the day 5, so our follicles are actually developed into the secondary follicles, and these secondary follicles are already producing the steroid hormone. This steroid hormone at this time is the estrogen. Okay. So now let's take a look at the menstrual phase event in the uterus. Just now I did mention the event in the ovarian. So what happened in the ovarian is the developing granulosa cell will produce estrogen, and this estrogen will go into the bloodstream and it will go to the uterus. And remember, meaning that this endometrium cell at this layer, okay, this endometrial cell at the uterus are actually having a receptor for the estrogen. So the estrogen being secreted by the follicles, developing follicles, or the granulosa cell, either one sama je nanti. Okay, so granulosa cell, so it will go to the endometrium lining. And what it will do in the endometrium lining is that it will causes the thickening of the endometrium layer after the 5 day. Waktu ni, okay, and the level of the estrogen is not enough yet to cause the thickening of the endometrium layer. Okay, during this time, why the menstruation occur? Kalau kita tengok kat sini, menstruation tu berlaku kan? Kenapa menstruation tu berlaku? That is because that is due to the consequence of the end of the luteal phase. Okay, kalau kita tengok dekat belakang ni, we have a corpus albicans. Corpus albicans actually function to produce the estrogen and also progesterone. But when the corpus luteum degenerate, kita akan tengok yang ni nanti, tapi I nak cerita kenapa dekat sini berlaku menses. It's actually due to the degenerations of the corpus albicans. So later this corpus albicans will stop producing the progesterone and estrogen. So kat sini I tulis declining levels of progesterone and estrogen. Okay, when the levels of the progesterone and estrogen is reduced, endometrium layer dekat sini, dekat dalam uterus nanti, dia dah tak dapat lagi signal from the progesterone, dia tak dapat lagi supply the estrogen and also progesterone from the developing or from the corpus luteum, and later the endometrium lining, the endometrium cell, it will produce the prostaglandin. So prostaglandin ni adalah sebenarnya inflammatory agent. So this prostaglandin, what it will cause is that it will cause vasoconstriction. So kat sini kita ada blood vessels dekat dalam endometrium lining. So prostaglandin, which has been produced by the endometrium cells itself, it will cause vasoconstriction. It will act locally, causes vasoconstriction. So once it's occur or what is caused the vasoconstrictions, so the blood supply to the endometrium will be blocked. So bila tak ada blood supply, this cell will have a deprivation of the oxygen. So bila dia deprive of the oxygen, so dia akan berlaku slough off ataupun dia akan shed off the endometrium lining. But at the end of the inflammatory process, this prostaglandin will cause vasodilations. That's why the hemorrhage occur, and that's why this endometrium lining will be get off and shed off out of the cervicals and also the vaginal canal to the outside. Alright. Okay, after menstrual flow occur, what happen is that we start back. Just now we get low supply of the estrogen and progesterone, which cause the menses. But during this time, you can see that the follicles is start developing. Okay, the granulosa cell is start producing a multiple layer and start act as the endocrine organ by which it will produce the estrogen. Maksudnya tadi dah habis supply dah estrogen, sekarang dia dah produce balik the estrogen. So when there are the estrogen supplied by the developing granulosa cells, so this estrogen will act back on the uterine lining, and later it will cause thickening of the endometrium balik. So once bila kita dah ada estrogen nanti, estrogen tu akan act dekat sini. During this time, after the end of the menses, usually at day 5 or day 7, we will start the proliferative phase. Okay, ini saya dah cakap tadi kenapa levels of the estrogen and progesterone decrease. Kita boleh tengok nanti. Oh ya, before that, siapa yang tak ada lagi lecture slide saya, you all boleh pergi dekat clip. Dekat clip saya dah attach, saya tak boleh nak upload. Sekejap You all boleh nampak tak slide ni? You all boleh nampak tak clip ni? Clip
Boleh.
ni. Okay, dekat sini saya letak ni link untuk pergi ke Google Classroom. So boleh ambil saya punya lecture slide kat sana sebab saya tak boleh upload kat sini sebab file dia besar sangat. So you klik je link ni, dia akan bawa pergi Google Classroom nanti. Okay, back to this slide. Okay, let's take a look at the pre-ovulatory phase. It's actually the time between the menstruations and also ovulation, and it lasts from 6 to 13 days in the 28-day cycles. Okay, contohnya kalaulah orang ni ada cycle dia dalam berapa 35. So kalau dia ada 35 cycle, each month memang dia ada 35 days untuk one cycle. So you divide by half. The first half is the pre-ovulatory phase and the other half is the post-ovulatory phase. Senang je macam tu. Okay, even in the ovaries, secondary follicles not only will secrete the estrogen, it will also will secrete the inhibin. Kenapa pula nak secrete inhibin? Nanti kita akan tengok Okay, tadi I did mention that the primordial follicle, dia akan develop sama-sama. Maksudnya dalam keseluruhan ovary tu semua tu akan develop. But some of it will undergo to be the dominant follicles. But some of it will undergo atresia. Kenapa some of it will become atresia? Okay, actually, okay, kita tengok dekat sini. Okay, actually, when mana ni kat sini? Sekejap. Okay, if you take a look at this one, the secondary follicles ni actually producing the levels of the estrogen. But this estrogen is not high enough. It's only at the intermediate level saja, low level saja. When the estrogen's concentration is at low level, it will mediate the negative feedback effect on the anterior pituitary. Maksudnya, estrogen ni kalau dia dalam concentration yang sedikit, it will give a negative effect to the anterior pituitary to stop producing FSH. That's why kalau sel tu tengah develop, katakan kita ada banyak-banyak sel, satu mungkin stage 1, satu sudah masuk ke pre-antral stage, satu dah pergi ke Graafian follicles. So, when you have the FSH concentration during that time, masa tu first day of menstruation, these developing follicles yang dapat enough FSH will grow bigger, and as it grow bigger, it will produce the estrogen, and the intermediate level estrogen produced by these cells, dia akan give a negative feedback to the anterior pituitary. So when it gives negative feedback, it will stop the production of the FSH. So sel yang tengah develop tadi, yang dekat belakang yang kecil-kecil masih tengah nak develop tadi, bila the supply of the FSH is reduced, so dia dah tak dapat, sel-sel tu lah tadi yang akan undergo degeneration. Yang sel-sel tadi lah akan undergo atresia. But the one who like really matured, really develop, memang dah ada enough supply tadi ni, this one will develop to become the dominant follicles, and this one, the only one, will be ovulated out of the ovary during ovulation process. Okay, so once this cell, the endometrial layer receive the estrogen, what will happen is that the cells at the endometrial layer, which is known as the stratum basilis, it will start to proliferate. So once it proliferate, it will produce the stratum. It will differentiate into another cell, which is known as the stratum functionalis. Maksudnya, kita ada dua layer lah dekat dalam endometrium. You have a stratum functionalis, you have a stratum basilis. Basal kenapa? Sebab dia adalah base. Function kenapa? Function dia dekat atas, nanti dia akan function untuk support the baby. And the one that being sloughed off during menstruation is only stratum functionalis. Maksudnya stratum basilis still maintain dekat sana, dia tak keluar sekali. Okay, so as it's developed later, it will also, this endometrium will also develop a gland. Gland tu untuk apa pula? Gland ni nanti dia akan produce supply of the glycoprotein, the nutrients and everything to the developing fetus if fertilizations occur. That's why we call this phase as the proliferative phase. Kenapa proliferate? Cells of the stratum bacillus proliferate to become the stratum functionalis. Dia proliferate saja. Okay. Alright, so tengok dekat proliferative phase, usually it lasts for 10 days prior to ovulation. So maksudnya 5 days tu kita ada menses and another 10 days tu adalah proliferative phase. And during the proliferative phase, the granulosa cells again producing estrogen. And they are also producing the progesterone receptor. Contoh macam tadi yang awal kelas pagi tadi, I did mention that these granulosa cells not only having a receptor for the FSH, but it also having a receptor for the LH. Similar to the endometrium layer, it not only having a receptor for the estrogen, during the proliferative phase, this cell also are producing a receptor for the progesterone. Maksudnya, graphene follicles ni, maksudnya granulosa cells ni, dia boleh bertindak kepada dua jenis hormon. It responds to two types of hormone. Similar to the uterus lining, it is also respond to two types of hormone, but at different phase or at different time during the menstrual cycles. Easy, senang kan? Okay, now let's take a look at the ovulation. So why does ovulations occur? So during the developments of the follicles, so one of the follicles will grow bigger and bigger and bigger and will become the matured follicles. So matured follicles, on the other name, we also call it as the graphene follicles. So this graphene follicle will produce a lot more of estrogen. Dia akan produce lagi. When this estrogen is too high, it will start to give a positive feedback on the hypothalamus, and it will trigger the hypothalamus to release the LH. So LH ni nanti tadi I did mention that granulosa cells ada LH receptor kan. So waktu ni lah this LH will act on the matured graphene follicles, and this LH also will activate one hormone or one enzyme, by which this enzyme known as the proteolytic enzyme. So kenapa dia proteolytic enzyme? Contoh kalau contoh kita ada satu balloon, okay, you have one balloon, by which balloon tu you blow dia banyak-banyak, okay, dia akan jadi lagi besar. So bila dia besar, dia punya the outside layer or the wall will be very, very thin, right? So this actually similar to what happened to the matured graphene follicles. As it grow big, you akan nampak that this graphene follicles akan jadi lebih thin lah, dia punya outside layer will be a bit thin. Plus, it also have a fluid inside, so jadi lagi senang untuk dia rupture. So once this LH has been released into the blood circulation and it binds to the receptor on top of the graphene follicles, okay, skip. Okay, kita ada graphene follicle kat sini, lepas tu ada receptor dekat LH kat sini. So once this LH bind dekat sini, it will proteolytically, it will proteolyze or it will lyse the protein layer dekat the matured graphene follicles, and it will cause pecah lah. So bila dia pecah, dia dah lyse that layer, dia akan release this secondary oocyte. So remember, okay, recap back. Just now it served as two function, which is gametogenesis and also steroidogenesis. But during this time, it will only this remaining granulosa cells, also known as the corpus hemorrhagicum, is actually the endocrine organ. Dia kenapa dia nama hemorrhagicum? Sebab dekat dalam granulosa cells, it also have a blood vessels. So early during the release of the egg or during the ovulation process, this blood will still appear in the remaining body of the granulosa cells. That's why they call it as the corpus hemorrhagicum. But then later on, this corpus hemorrhagicum will become the yellow body. So this yellow body, we call it as the corpus luteum. Kenapa corpus luteum? Sebab these granulosa cells are response to the luteinizing hormone, LH. That's why we call it as the corpus luteum. And one more thing, luteum, if I'm not mistaken, on the other languages means yellow. That's why lah memang dia yellow body pun dia tinggal kat sana. Okay, so LH core structures of the Graafian follicles, and it peak at 9 hours after LH surge. Maksudnya LH surge ni must occur 9 hours before ovulation process is occur. So let's take a look at the ovulations. Is occur on day 14. Okay. I did mention about this, you can read by yourself. Okay, now let's take a look at the ovulation test kit. Okay, kita recap sikit. Kenapa kena ada ovulation test kit? Biasanya kita ada pregnancy test kit je. Kenapa kena ada ovulation test kit pula? Boleh tak dengar respon sikit? Kenapa kena ada ovulation test kit? Okay. Masih dengar saya ke? Respon sikit dekat chat.
Dengar.
Dengar. Okay, kenapa kena ada ovulation test kit? Biasanya kita pakai pregnancy test kit je. Kat Malaysia.
Family planning.
Nak family planning. Family planning. Boleh lah. Kat Malaysia jarang lah kita pakai ovulation test kit. But kalau dekat overseas memang massively guna lah. Tapi I'm not sure lah because I'm not the consumer. Okay, actually there are two purpose of consuming this ovulation test kit. This LH test kit lah kita panggil. There are two reasons. Number one, because this couple might have a plan to have a baby, or maybe they don't want a baby. Maksudnya either tu lah, sama ada dia nak pregnant ataupun dia tak nak pregnant. So macam dia kena check dulu. Oh, ovulation, tak ada LH ni, on. Mana yang tahu kan. So kalau dia check, LH ada ni. Kalau dia tak nak pregnant ataupun tak nak conceive, so dia cakap okay. So stop during that time. Faham kan maksud saya? Tak ada yang naik kat sini Okay, so later event. Okay, once the secondary oocyte has been released out by the Graafian follicles during ovulation process, if let's say that matured Graafian follicles, not the secondary oocyte not being fertilized by the sperm, what happened? It will turn into corpus luteum and it will remain only for 2 weeks. Let's say the pregnancy does not occur, so habislah hayat dia selama 2 minggu sahaja. So let's say the pregnancy occur, it will maintain over there for 3 months of pregnancy. Maksudnya 3 bulan baby kat dalam perut, waktu 3 bulan you dekat dalam perut tadi, by which your ovary, if you are a female baby, are developing another primordial follicles tadi, so you are actually still depending on the corpus luteum. If the pregnancy does not occur, so 2 weeks only, this corpus luteum will be degraded out. Okay, I have a question down here. Why similar granulosa cells, okay, semua ni starting from the primordial follicle, sampailah until it will become the corpus albicans, it is actually the similar granulosa cells. But why the primordial follicles during this time producing estrogen, and why these primordial follicles at this stage producing progesterone? Kenapa? Cuba kita discuss sikit. Tadi I did mention bila dapat FSH dia jadi producing estrogen. But now when it receive LH, it will produce progesterone. So back to the concept yang kita tahu, hormone punya mechanism. Hormone will act specifically on each receptor. Once it activate its specific receptor, it will produce a specific effect. Maksudnya tadi dia act specifically, dia ada lagi cascade dekat bawah dia. So kalau dia act on the estrogen receptor, on the FSH receptor, dia akan produce estrogen. Kalau dia act on LH receptor, it will produce the progesterone. So that is the answer lah. Estrogen sebab you want to increase thickness. After ovulation, it secrete progesterone to maintain the thickness. Yes, that is the reason. But the answer for my question just now is because why the granulosa cell during the follicular phase is producing estrogen, because it is being stimulated by the FSH. Similar granulosa cells, but it is being stimulated by the FSH during follicular development. But once the ovulation process occurs, these granulosa cells, the remaining granulosa cell dekat sini, it will being stimulated by the LH hormone, luteinizing hormone. That's why they produce different kind of hormone. Faham kan? Okay, so I did mention just now about the corpus luteum. Okay, tengok dekat sini, dekat the blue color over here, you can see this corpus luteum, we supply nutrients, we supply the steroid hormone for the baby until it 3 months of age. Let's say these females are pregnant, 2 months of pregnancy, and they have something wrong with its ovary. Contohnya like ovarian tumor ke apa ke, and then the doctor decided to remove the ovary. But remember that in that ovary, this lady having the developing corpus luteum, a live corpus luteum, by which this corpus luteum will produce the progesterone. If let's say during 2 months of pregnancy, the doctor decided to remove this corpus luteum or together with the ovary, abortion usually associated. So nanti dia akan abortion sekali lah. Sebab apa? Sebab dah tak dapat hormon lagi. Placenta only develop after 3 months of pregnancy. Okay,